Welcome back to part 2 of my gold ute rebuild. In the last episode, I pulled the whole ute apart and started to do some repairs. In this episode, it's all going back together with brand new paint, brand new parts, and a few new additions. This rebuild has come after a few years of off-road abuse, and the end goal was to have it looking like new to put on display at a four-wheel drive show, which you will be seeing if you make it to the end of this episode. So I guess I better get back into it. Another day in the shed, and I'll give you a look where I'm up to. So I managed to get this diff center all back together. Nice new shiny flange on it. Now, I would call this a bit of a patch-up job. I've just rebuilt it, new set of bearings, new seal, and put it all back together, and hopefully it'll be right for a little while. So that's all ready to pretty well assemble, just waiting for the arms, and I've got to do the bearings. Yeah, obviously got some fresh gloss black parts here, ready to go on. I've got the bull bar sitting over here. This is my job that I'm going to attack now, putting the new run bar inner. Also, have got a new light bar coming for there. It's supposed to be coming today. Now, some of you would be aware that not long ago, I put a new Winch into this gold ute, and I've just done Cape York with that, Simpson Desert. I didn't actually have to use it, and the Flinders Ranges, but I took it with me on the whole trip, and it did get a bit of use at Cape York. There was a scenario where I drove into a really off-camber section, and I drove in too close to the bank, and I got hooked up on a tree, which was my fault. But we were able to use the winch to pull the car back up straight, and I was able to drive through. Then there was a scenario where I snapped a tail shaft and we just yanked me straight out with the winch. And there was a couple other times where we hooked the winch up, and I just used it as like a safety buffer that if I got stuck into a creek entry, because obviously we were at Cape York right after the wet season and it was really soft. So basically hooked the winch up to a tree, ready to go, and then drove, and I was just holding the button while I was going. But anyway, the winch that I did have, it's down here, I'll show you. This is it here. I've just taken it out, obviously to paint the bull bar. Now, this is gonna be going onto Baz. So it's a rumba, 12K max. It's got the air free spool on it, and it has this massive drum, which is a bit bigger than a standard low mount off the shelf setup. It's got 35 meters of rope on it. But anyway, I've gone to a different winch here, and I'm going to explain why. Now, the first reason that I've got another winch is because I need a winch to go there. Baz has got a spot here for a rear winch. I had to get another winch for that car, so what I've done is I've got another winch. Now, this is a different model of Winch, and this is something that I just wanted to try as an experiment to see if it's better or worse. There's some pros, there's some cons. The other one that I've just pulled out is a 12K max. This one's a 9500Q. So the main thing straight away, the other one's a 12,000 pound winch. This is a 9,500 pound winch. Now, basically everything that I'm gonna show you here is probably a downgrade from the other winch. It's got a smaller spool on it. This is only a normal 25. It's only 9,500 pounds. Another thing is, this appears to have your normal kind of rope on it. The other one has got this like really hard, like red rope. It feels really tough and nice in your hands. This is still fine, but it's just normal rope. This here is not an air free spool. This is a normal old bloody reaching in, looking for it under the bull bar clutch. But this here is an air clutch for it. And in this box here, there's all the line and the solenoid and everything that I need to do. Now, this is sold separately, so you make this winch air free spool, which I really want because I hate this setup. Now, the main difference with this one, the other one, and why I've gone with this one, which so far I've probably just made it look a lot worse than the other one. Rumba call this their competition winch. Now, in their competition winches, they have a couple of high mounts, and they have this one model of low mount winch. This one has an 80-to-1 gear ratio, so just think every time this turns 80 times, this turns 1 time. Now, the other winch, it has a 228-to-1 gear ratio. So correct me if I'm wrong, I've just quickly put this in the calculator. This is 2.7 times faster than the other one. Obviously, that is the gearing speed. You can have the gearing, but the motor still has to be able to turn, like to pull it. But all in all, this should be quite a bit faster than the other one. And that is the only reason that I'm changing to this winch. Now the first thing that I'm going to need to do is work out how the bloody hell to get that out of there.
Alrighty, so it's quite simple. You just screw the old manual clutch out and then you screw the new air clutch in.
Whoa, righto, so winch is in there, she's all bolted up. Reused the solenoid and the wires off the last winch, and I literally just had to put it straight on there and it's all done. Would love to have a high mount winch in here, but I can't do that in this bar. It's not possible, and I currently don't have enough time or money to build a new bar and go a high mount and stuff like that. This here is a new set of headlights. These headlights here have come from, let me find the sticker, Oz Best Deals. So these have come from Oz Best Deals with a Z. These are the exact same as the lights that I took out. Posted these on my Instagram, and I did have a few people say, what happened to the CSS lights? Because the other ones come from CSS. Well, CSS, he doesn't sell these anymore. So I've got these off Oz Best Deals. They're the next people that I found that sold them. And this is the main reason that I've got these lights. Again, instead of getting something that is different, there is a H4 plug hanging out of the back here. Comes through a rubber grommet. And that one there is the standard indicator plug, and that there is for a little resistor to slow it down so it just plugs in. So if you want a headlight that is going to last forever, leave the standard ones in. They're your best headlights, you can't argue that. But I don't like the look of them. Whoa, have a look at that. Whoa, new shiny headlights. I did have a couple of guys actually reach out and say that they had some fitment issues with them. And I just wanted to say that there's a couple of bolts. There's a bolt in behind there. There's a couple here. You can actually adjust. It's made to be adjusted. Like, you can actually adjust. These ones are all adjustable too, but you can adjust the guard to get that right. It's made like that for a reason. Whoa, and over here, we have got some more goodies. Just opened up this one. These are from Steady. Some fresh lights. These ones are going under the car, and this one's going on my bull bar. I think I showed you. The one on there had a little bit of a hard life, and one of the brackets had let go during all the corrugations and stuff up north. But I've actually upgraded. So this is a twin row. The other one was a single row. This is the biggest, bestest kind of thing that I can fit in the hoop of the bar. So I've gone with a Steady this time, something different. I've been running Road Vision for the last, I don't know how many years, and haven't really tried anything else. So this time I'm trying some Steady stuff. Righto, so I'm going to start by fitting up that light bar onto the bull bar, and then I'm going to fit the bull bar to the car and try and fix up all this stuff, put the grill back in. Oh, there's another thing that I've got. This one is from GME. Heavy duty fold down knockback brackets for my aerials.
And that's enough talking. It is time to start bolting some parts together.
Rightio, fireworks all on. I just shut these front doors just to stop that glare coming in for you, so we can have a bit of a gaze. So I'll turn this thing on. I just hold that, that's on. I've got a solenoid here, so I already had that on. Might just also show you, on my dash I've got this panel here. Winch in, winch out controls there. So as I've already said, the main reason I've upgraded to this winch is I didn't realise this winch was available when I got the other winch. Timmy Hazard actually suggested this winch to me because I was explaining to him how I said I'd love a high mount, but you know, I can't fit one in the bar. I don't have time to build a new bull bar and still go full driving in winter, as well as the cost. Like, you know, you're spending thousands and thousands of dollars to get a really good high mount. Anyway, let's have a look at the line speed. Pretty bloody quick. Now, obviously this isn't really under load. This tyre probably only weighs, I don't know, 40, 50 kilos, whatever it is. The car weighs, you know, probably 2,700 kilos realistically, how it is now with an empty tray. And I'd say it weighs around 3.3 tonne with the canopy and everything on. This winch is supposed to be rated to 4.3 tonne, so I've got about a tonne spare, so it should work in theory with all my stuff on. I'm not going to stand here and tell you how fast this winch is until I actually go out and hook it up and pull the car. Like, until I go out and use it. Obviously, if there's any dramas under load or anything, I'm going to be deciding between that winch and the one that I've just taken off, which one I like best for this car. This is going to get more use than on the back of that. So yeah, So I'm just putting these wheel bearings in here, and I just wanted to quickly show you this. Often on these Land Cruiser rear wheel bearings, and probably on other cars too, you'll do it up and then you'll go to put your little locking screws in and you won't be able to get them in, and you either have to go too tight to get the holes to line up or back it off to a point where it's loose just to get those locking screws in. But I found these online and it's 3 times finer, and that's what it's called there. I can't actually remember where I bought them, but there is a website on the bottom here which is 3timesfiner.com. I got a set of these on Baz as well, so I've got them on both cars. I know there will be people that will be watching this thinking, what a bloody brilliant idea. So I just wanted to share that. We're pretty much all back together. This is all here ready to go under there, and I'm going to go for a drive to Avoca and see. I'm pretty sure the boys have got some painted parts there. Whoa, righto, so I've just been over to Jim's, picked up the goods, just getting the last out of old Frank. Look at that. All of my falling arms, freshly painted gold. They're the sway bar links as well. They were black last time, so gold this time, and look at the shine on them. Boys have done a good job. I'm gonna get these Summit Heim joints back into these arms. I've got to set all the lengths. I think I've got the Fizz man on the way out here to give me a hand, and we'll roll that diff under tonight and hopefully get her ready for a test drive. Bleed all the brakes off and should be good. So I've got all these arms set to length. They're all locked up. Got the other 2 already bolted under there, so I've got something to put the diff into. And Fizzy's here again, and we've just put the wheels on this diff. Now we're going to pick that ute up with the Phwoarrrrrrrrr and put this under and bolt it all back together. Righto, we're recording, we're live.
And it's so sad, it just makes me cry. Feels like I know you.
Lost me hat. Pushing that hard.
You'll be cropping that out of the fucking video.
So they're gonna bust the pulver valve.
Fucking gasket.
Baby, in my headphones, baby, in my headphones, singing to me. You're in my
Whoa, look at that. Freshly painted coils, arms, diff. Oh, what do you reckon, Fizz?
I've only been new for a couple of weeks.
Oil seated. Just slowly pump it through. Pump it up and hold it. You're on camera too, Fizz.
Yeah, I know.
I'm in my mate's car. Whoa, righto, so we've got it all back together. It is now on the hoist, and I haven't taken it for a test drive yet. I wanted to swap over the front coils and just finish off a couple little things, but I'm thinking I might give you a bit of a walk through the suspension and stuff while it's up on the air, because I did do a video before I went away, and it was everything you need to know about this gold ute from TikTok. And I did get underneath and have a look at the suspension, but obviously it was all dirty and I was trying to keep the camera away from where all the paint was missing off it. So I didn't really go into too much detail, and I'm not gonna this time either, otherwise the video will go forever, but I will show you while it looks all nice and shiny and it's on the hoist. So let's have a bloody bit of a look. So in the front here, I have got a J-Race drag link. Now this has got a Heim joint on both ends, and he runs a special machined pin that's made out of some material that's supposedly unbreakable. Now this washer on the top here is very important. That is part of his design, that if this Heim flogs out, it can't come off, you know, it's stuck on there by that washer. So if it falls to bits, basically, it's a safety washer. That used to have a lot of dramas with the Flex. You can see, well, with all the travel, you can see the angle that's on there now. Now, with a Heim joint, obviously, this looks fine. This is not an issue. With the standard joints that come in them, or even the patrol style joints, it puts, like, it gets to the end of their travel. And I just found it always loosening up, and then I'd have steering issues, playing steering, death wobbles, whatever else. Haven't had an issue since I put this on. Put this on before I went to Tassie, which was a year and a half ago. It's done Tassie, Cape York, Simpson Desert, High Country 3 times. all my local wheeling, and I haven't replaced the ends yet. New set of coils, 2.5 King shocks. These are from Mike's Shock Shop, and they are custom valved to suit this car. J-Race radius arms. These are really important to me. These correct the caster. Go around this side where the light isn't beaming on me. With any vehicle with a solid front axle, when you lift it, it rolls the front diff and it upsets the caster, which is part of your wheel alignment. And what that does is it tends to make the vehicle wander around on the road. So if you've got a full drive with a solid axle and you've lifted it and you find yourself hanging onto the steering wheel when you're driving in a straight line down the highway, you have to just correct it all the time and you have to hold it in a straight line. It's most likely your caster. So what these new J-Race arms do is they roll the diff back to where it's meant to be, and J-Race sets it slightly more than that. I believe J-Race goes like 4 or 5 degrees, so it's even better than factory with the lift. I've got a matching tie rod at the back here, so yeah, that's from J-Race as well, that one. Righto, let's come and have a look down the back here now where all the good stuff's going on. I've been through multiple suspension setups. I started with an 80 series 5-link that I created myself when I was on my P-plates. I had a few dramas with that and I'd done a bit of a revision, made it a little bit better, fixed a few of those dramas. Then I had more dramas. It was just like teething issues, you know, from something that I'd done when I was young and I wasn't full of knowledge and stuff like that. I put a DFI sway bar in it. You know, I took out a lot of the body roll, made it drive nicer, and the bushes were flogging out on me. Had bump steer, I lifted the panhard, done all these things, and I got it to about the point where there wasn't a lot more that I could do other than change it to a 4-link from a 5-link. J-Race has created this double triangulated 4-link, which he installs for customers in cars, all fully engineered, fully, you know, this is what he does. This is his main thing. And there has been countless hours gone into this kit that I could never do. Thought about designing my own 4-link and doing it all the same as I've done with Baz. So drew all of Baz up on CAD, heaps of research, working out geometry and this and that, and like all these hoops that you've got to go through to make sure you're going to a lot of work to build this. You want to make sure it's all going to work correctly and whatever. All those teething issues that I had with the 80 series 5-link, I didn't want to have those again. So what I ended up doing was I just got J-Race's kit. He's already been through all the hoops. He's been through all that stuff. He is an engineer and he has a CAD guy in-house that designs all his stuff. So, you know, way more advanced than me, and this is the system that they've come up with. They've recently changed these lower arms to double triangulated. They used to be straight. Basically, everything that you see here, if I was going to do it myself, this is how I would do it, and that's why I went with the J-Race kit. He doesn't sell this off the shelf as a kit to do it yourself. You can't just ring up J-Race and go, hey, I want a coil conversion kit and put it in your backyard with a stick welder, and that is part of the reason why he doesn't, because he was selling these at one point and it's hard to regulate it when you're just sending it out to anyone. And he was finding there might be people that do a bit of a rough job of the paint or the welding, and then when they post all their pictures all over Instagram, it's got his name on it. So he just went, nah, that's it. Only installed by himself or a certified installer. So I actually become a certified installer so I could do my own, and I flew up to J-Race and I'd done a welding procedure with him for welding these plates to the chassis because it's very important for engineering. I got my certificate to install this kit to this car, and I'd done it myself, and I've also done one for a customer, and I've got another one to do for another customer, but that one is probably going to be the last one because now obviously I'm jumping into the YouTube world. I don't have time to be doing these kind of conversions for customers when I'm trying to make videos for you to watch. So anyway, I'll put this in really simple terms for you. Now, because it's a 4-link, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 links. That's why it's 4-link. Don't count these are sway bar links, these little ones, so don't worry about them. In a normal factory car, they have 5 links. So there's one going across the back of the diff. Now that's the panhard rod, and that holds diff from going from left to right. With the J-Race setup here, he only has 4 links. Obviously it works better, performs better off-road, doesn't go left to right when you go up and down over bumps, all that kind of stuff. So his is a 4-link, but in order to get the diff to stay and stop moving left to right, there is some geometry involved, and you'll see that that arm is not straight. That's a triangulated arm, and obviously those ones are triangulated too. So that's where double triangulated comes from. That angle of that arm combined with the angle of that arm can't go side to side because the arms are pushing it out and pushing it in. So they're fighting one another basically. On Baz, I've used these same kind of joints, big Heim joints on one end, on the diff end, and on the other end on the chassis, I've used rubber bushes. Now, rubber bushes are good because they act as a bit of like a buffer on your mounts and stuff like that. It's got a bit of play, it's got a bit of cushioning. This here doesn't have as much cushioning, you know, it's direct impact. So all of these mounts and stuff are designed in CAD and FEA tested that they're not gonna break when I go giving an absolute hiding. So for someone like me, yeah, I'm good at CAD and everything like that. That's a big job and I wouldn't be up to that. So if I was doing it, I would just make what I think looks strong and I would have just welded it on there like I have with Baz and hope for the best. Now, the reason why he's used these bushes, these big expensive Heim joints, is because they don't have any play in them. I can't physically push this left or right. It's solid, I'll push it off the hoist. If these were rubber, all of them, I would be able to. There would be play in that because obviously they're rubber. Like these front ones, they're rubber. Front one's got a panhard, so it's okay. So that's the reason why we use these over rubber. The rubber tends to move, and if you've got a fair bit of torque and stuff like that, it'll pull. When you put the foot down, the ute will torque like that. It'll rear steer you when you're on and off the throttle. So that's why I really like this setup. And obviously this is the only suspension setup that has not given me any grief, and I've given it a fair workout recently. Another thing, this here is a DFI torsion sway bar. Comes standard in J-Race setup, like he's integrated it into his design. And the reason we use this big fancy sway bar, I've got the same thing I've put in Baz, and I had the same one in my old 80 series setup. It's a torsion bar with an arm either side. The torsion bar, what it does is, so it's got two arms like this, say on the torsion bar. When you flex, it allows the arms to go like that, and it just twists the torsion bar. Obviously, when you go around a corner, it goes like that too, but it's taking up the weight and stopping the car from body rolling when you go around a corner, lifting a wheel, whatever. A standard normal sway bar does the same thing, but it's just a piece of steel and it can only go so far, and that's it. That's why everyone takes their sway bars out, so the cars can flex more. But I don't have to. This sway bar can flex. This will do the full travel of the shock while it's all bolted in there like that, fully engineered, road legal. So that's why we use that. King shocks from Mike's Shock Shop. I also got some King hydro bumps in the rear here. They've been had a bit of a workout. That one's starting to wear down the pad on it from the Simpson. And these coils here, they're just the ones that come in J-Race's kit. And J-Race also uses a retaining plate on the bottom here. This is a 100% new housing. This is not factory, the whole diff housing. It's a track corrected housing. Most people will know 79 series comes with a narrower wheel track in the rear than the front from factory. This housing completely fixes that. You take the standard one out and you chuck it in the scrap pile out the front of the shed, and you put this one in, and also it's braced. So yeah, that's pretty much for the suspension. Got a brand new tail shaft in there. Just put that in before. Another thing I've got here is a disc handbrake. This is from Boosted Built Garage, so this one actually works. Standard handbrake, I don't even have it, it's not even in there. I just have this. Really, really good thing. There is a bash plate that goes here. I picked it up from Payne, it's over there somewhere. So I do have one last job. There's some wires there and this needs to be tidied up. And there's some tabs here, so that's where those little steady cube lights will be bolting onto. And over this side, you can see I've got the same thing. There's a mount on the front and a mount on the back, and the lights shine down at my wheels. So not a really big fan of those little rock lights that go into your guards that everyone has. I used to have them. I had a couple of sets actually when I was a P-plater, and you know, it was cool as it have the blue lights and stuff going, but like you get a bit of mud on them and they don't work. So I've got proper work lights go under there, 4 of them, and they always light it up. Whether they're dirty or whether they're clean, they work. So that's why I have them. Mind the mess, I got a bit going on here, but that's that bash plate that I was talking about for the handbrake. And there, these are these lights here. I'm gonna quickly put these on. The car's actually going on a truck in about an hour and a half's time, so I probably don't have time to record all this and put it on. And I think I've covered enough stuff in this video already, but we'll have a quick look at them. This is it in here, little steady cube light. Feels nice and solid. I don't know what it's made out of, aluminium. It is a heavy light, but yeah, these are lights here. They've obviously got a cover on them. Oh, there you go. So that's the new lights. I got 4 of them to put under the car, and I've got to actually wire them up, so it's going to take me a little while. Also got a couple of covers here to try. So these are the blue ones. Me and Fizzy did fire one up on a drill battery and put that on, and it does actually make it blue. So it's blue mode, and then I've got amber ones. That'd actually be good for camping, we were thinking. We were like, oh, that'd match in with all the Darcy lights in the awning. And then I got these covers, which would just look cool. If that was mounted like, oh, I don't know, on the tray or something, that'd look sick. So it's off on a truck to Brisbane this afternoon. I'm heading to the Outback Equipment open day, and if you're watching this video, that would have already been, because it's taken me a little while to edit these videos and post them up on for you guys to watch. So yeah, that's where it's heading. First time ever going on a truck. I'm a little bit nervous, but the truck driver sounds like a bloody legend, and he's actually coming here to Emu, to the shed, to pick it up in about an hour and a half. So I'm gonna get it down off the hoist. I'm gonna take it for a test drive, because new injectors, new starter motor, new fuel cooler, new, you name it, it's all new there. Anyway, let's get it down. Well, it runs and it moves, so I guess that's a start. Sounds a lot different. The new injectors do sound different. Ooh, might go for a strap up the road and just get it to warm up. Feels weird driving again, but it's only been 2 weeks. A little bit of play and a few bushes here and there makes a big difference to the way it drives. Woohoo! I'm not making boosts on my gauge here, but it sounds like it's making boosts. Ah, that'd be the problem. It's not on there. It's on there now, but it'll probably come off. It wasn't real tight, so it's going to need a little clamp or a zip tie or something to keep it on there. We're nearly up to temp now, which is good, so I can give it a bit of pizzling on the drive back. But yeah, don't have any lights on the dash. Fix that. We're off to a good start anyway. Let's see what it does. Definitely sounds different. She's not blowing any soot. Can't see any in the mirror anyway, which is a good thing. How I was saying about driving with one finger by having the caster correct. There you go. No hands. This thing's a big lifted car on big wheels, and look at that. My old 80 series setup, that never happened, not once. Not through any of the revisions that I ever done. Never had a car that drove this good. We'll keep going. We'll go for a bit of a tour around Emu, eh? What do you reckon? All the neighbours probably thinking, oh yeah, this bloke is roaring up and down the road in his ute again. Here's a bit of a view of the scenery around the joint. Jeez, it sounds good. It thumb slaps now. I can't believe the difference in sound just from a set of injectors. Wow, new paint, who dis? Wow, look at that. A couple of fences to check here. Oh, sorry. Pulls like a schoolboy. It's the family farm. Whoa, righto. There she is. Pub truck. All back together. Ready for some shows. First thing, this car's going to Brisbane for the Outback Equipment Open Day. I'm also going to see Hard Fizz. We're going to do a funny video. They've got a new orange fizz out. My car's, well, it's not orange, it's actually gold. So anyway, Hard Fizz have got a new orange fizz, and they said, what can we do with your car that's funny? I said, have you got a pallet of it? So that's why the canopy's off. So yeah, I'm going up to Brisbane, Outback Equipment, hopefully get to meet some of you guys there. Obviously watching this video, it's already been, I'm a bit behind from videos to the real world. It's come up really well, I'm super happy with it. Just, you know, looking at the car, seeing nice new headlights, nice bar work, and the paint and everything all cleaned up, shining. I love this car and I hate seeing it with scars all over it. What I've just fixed, this isn't just from the Cape trip, hasn't had this kind of treatment for a few years. So, and obviously I only use this car really for going forward driving and other than like go a couple of shows, which is the show car for the next month. Also coming up, I've got Melbourne Four-Wheel Drive show, which has probably already been on when you guys are watching this. I'm probably not going to be going to any other shows, so if you haven't seen me if you didn't get a chance to see me at the Melbourne Four-Wheel Drive show, then I'm extremely sorry. Denny Ute Muster probably coming up. I will be making an appearance at Denny, and GME have said that I can park the ute on their stand for everyone to have a look at, so try and keep it half respectable for that. Try and keep it respectable. Hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and I hope maybe you've learned something or picked up a little trick from me. I don't know. If you did like this video and you're new here and you haven't subscribed, make sure you go and hit the subscribe button. That means that you'll be able to see my next video when it comes up. See you on the next one. Phwoarrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr